Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. We are back in Tiny Glade, and we're going to be continuing our build here in the Pirate Town. Before we get started, though, I do have to go live on TikTok, so give me a couple of minutes to get that up and running. It shouldn't be too long. I'm hoping like no more than like a minute. I just want to make sure that everything is working, and then we will get started. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thursday. And I hope an even better Friday. It is the weekend, guys. The week is almost over. Okay. Hello. Hello, everyone. We are multi streaming today. We are both on the Purple app and on TikTok. We are in Tiny Glade, and we're going to be finishing, or hopefully be finishing up our harbor town that we've been working on for a hot minute. Those of you that were here and following along, you might recognize a few things. You might notice that we are done with our ship. We did our lovely little lighthouse that you see over here. We have a secret little cove that is hidden in here that you can see at nighttime. But more importantly, we did our fish house last time. And there's a couple new things as well. As you can see on my break, for those of you that know, I was gone for a week, a whole entire week, I know. But I had a little staycation and I worked on some of the things off of camera. And that is building these docks as well as this bridge and doing a little bit of the terrain. Thank you so much for the heart B3. I am back. I am back and we are in Tiny Glade. So I was able to build this little dock. My idea is I want to build buildings up on top and have them either come down to the dock or the bridge rather, or have ladders go up to it. I haven't decided yet. The other fun little thing that I built two more secret things, two more secret coves. So we're going to go take a look at those right now. I haven't done anything on the inside of them yet, but I am super excited to get them laid out. So the first one is on this side. We have our secret little cove in here. What we're going to do here, I don't know yet. Maybe we'll do the same thing as we did over yonder on the other side. Put some lanterns down in the water and maybe have some barrels and stuff. The other secret cove is over this way. I'm thinking this is like a pirate town, you know, like a place where they come and like they get a good night's rest. They go to the fish market, they have their blacksmithery, maybe they have a warehouse, but then they have like these secret coves that they stash their loot in. I can swim fast, yeah. This is also a great focal point as well, this bridge right here, to overlook the other side. But coming over on this end, and through these bushes, we have ourselves a little stowaway, a little cavern, as you will, that I built. What we're going to put in here, I don't know. Maybe we'll put in treasure. Maybe we'll put in some of the props. We'll find out. But this is basically a little hidden area for them to stash their loot. And we're going to have, it's going to basically be, so like this side over here, we're going to have buildings, right? So there's going to be probably a building sitting right here in this grassy patch. So you're not going to see it you're going to have to walk around whatever buildings I build in order to get to it. So it's definitely going to be hidden. I think that's kind of cool. All right. So last time we were here, we were able to do this fish house. Now, do I know what I'm doing today? Absolutely not. I have no plan today. I don't know where to start. I don't know what I want to do. All I know is that there's certain buildings that I want to accomplish in this build. Do I know what they look like? Do I have reference photos? Absolutely not. We're just going to doodle and hope for and pray for the best. But that's the fun part about Tiny Glade is you just get overwhelmed and then you just start building because that's just how the game is. You just got to do it, guys. You just got to do it, and it's going to fight with you, and you just got to do it. But hopefully it turns out good. That's what we pray for. Anyway, so some of the buildings that I have in mind for this harbor town is I want to build a tavern. And I think that's our goal for today is we're going to build a tavern. I also want to try to build an inn of some sort. So, do I know if I'm going to make the inn walkable? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to make the inn walkable, but I'm thinking if we were to build the inn, it would be up here. It would be the tallest building up here. Now, for the tavern, I don't know if I want two walkable buildings side by side. So I might actually build the tavern over here. And I'm contemplating whether or not to have it in front of the stash area or to have it up here on this plateau. I haven't quite decided yet. I'm trying to figure out like how big is the building going to be, because that's going to determine how much real estate I need in terms of the terrain. I feel like as long as this is super flat, which I think it might be, I could build here and I can actually have it go offset, because as long as we don't look at the back of the map, who cares if we can see supports, right? It's all about this focal point right here. We're not going to be looking at it this way. No. We're going to be looking at it this way. So if we see some, weirdness going on in the back, that's okay. That's all right. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys are having a great day. We are in Tiny Glade. We are also multi-streaming. We are both in TikTok as well as the Purple app. Thank you, everyone who has come in. And hopefully we can actually build. I always say, stop yapping, more building, because I do get carried away with talking. Okay, so for those of you that are new, my name is Lumashell, and I am a variety streamer that focuses on simulation games and cozy games. And Tiny Glade is kind of like my new obsession right now. I've been doing it for about, I want to say like 3 months now. I've been in Tiny Glade. And I focus primarily on interior builds. I like to push the envelope in creativity. So you'll see me focus mainly on doing interior style builds. I did. I had a staycation. So we didn't go anywhere or do anything, but I was able to get a lot accomplished, which was great, like around the house and stuff like that. So, and I got to sleep. Which is always good. I got to sleep in. I'm technically still on staycation until Monday, but I was like, you know what? I don't really have that many plans, so might as well go live, right? All right, we're just going to make this as big as we can. I think that's what we're going to do. We're just going to make the floor as big as we can, both ways. We're going to go this way as well. We're going to bring this forward and something like that. I think I don't want to make these buildings super tall. Basically just door height is what I'm thinking. But I am going to raise it up just slightly just because I don't want the grass clipping through. However, never mind. That doesn't matter because we need to make that all pathway. Hold on, let me move this. We need this to be pathway because if we use any of the props that we're going to be making, we're going to need the fencing tool. I don't know if I'm going to be using the fencing tool. It just depends upon how flat this is, which it doesn't look horrible, but it could, for the way that like this is like dipped down like that, it could mess with some of the leveling. But we'll see. We'll see how we can go. My idea for this tavern is pub, bar, whatever you want to call it, is that I want to make it have like an indoor balcony, which in my head, I see what it could look like, but at the same point, I also feel like it's going to be a challenge because you have to try to hide the supports as best as you can. And that's tricky. That's very, very tricky to do. Okay, I'm going to lift this up a little bit just because I don't want the stairs. I'm pretty happy with that. I don't mind that the trees are clipping. I could move it a little bit more this way though. But I don't mind if the trees are clipping. Okay. Floor. We did it, guys. We made a floor. Tiny Glade. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I am going to create, I think we're going to do the balcony this way. I think that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to create another structure on top. We're going to bring it up. Because this is basically going to act as more seating. I do my best to make everything straight, but unfortunately, I'm known to make everything super crooked. And there's something I can do about it. I don't know why this is like so short. I'm going to move it this way. Maybe it's like, I don't like that it's so short. It's not like, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go 4 squares. Nope, it's just the posts. It's just the posts. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. This is going to be a tall building. I'm like, I don't want to make it super tall, but we're going to end up making it tall. I just know it. However, hold on. The wall only goes to a certain height. So, before we get too carried away, we need to make sure that that's basically as tall as it gets. That's all it does. Oh, but it gets worse. Hold on. I'm going to have to push the building forward. For sure. I'm going to have to push the building forward because that's not going to work. I could just do it this way. And then we'll move this way, like that. Maybe we'll go through. Maybe we'll do. I want to do 3, but it's not going to let me, is it? Watch, it'll let me go 3 this way, though. Nope, just goes 4. I want the 3. 3.5. How about that? We'll do 3.5. Compromise. Okay. Nice. I don't want a massive balcony. I just want it to overlook the seating down here. And then have a couple seating up here. But you also need to make it walkable. And to make it walkable, you need a minimum of 1 square. But I prefer 2 at least. 1.5. But I don't think we're going to be putting a lot of chairs and tables up here. What I'm going to use for the tables is actually, we're going to use these barrels. These are going to act like pub tables. might have to move that tree. I just might have to move the tree. Either that or I can make it slightly smaller. I can make it a smaller building, sure. I'll go like this. That's better. And then we'll move this way. Okay. Now I do need to get door height. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this down. We're going to bring it up. Because disregard that. We need to put a window in. Because I need to make sure that it's at least door height, which is about right here. So essentially that is our ceiling. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add another structure on top of that. Just like this. I need to get this also ceiling height. So we're going to end up adding another door. And then we're going to delete this bottom one. So about right there. We're going to move this. We're going to bring this down. We're going to get rid of that. So now we have ceiling height. So when we're walking this, we should be able to walk underneath it as well as... Hold up. I got to do that again. Because I got to do the ceiling height for the balcony. 1 second. Let's do that again. Ceiling height for the balcony now, guys. We got this. Ceiling height for the balcony. What we're going to do here is we're going to make this wall back up in here be the height of the ceiling that we need to make it easy. So let's go ahead and add a door. Let's make sure that this is where it needs to be. So now we're going to lower this wall. We're going to bring this down to the height that we need, which is about right here. I'm going to go a little bit taller just in case, but that's about what we need. Now we can get rid of this other structure. There we go. It's coming together. All right, so let's go ahead and just span this across. It did raise it slightly, but that's okay. We'll just bring it down just like that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of a little bit of the pathing right here. Just a little bit. Just enough to close the wall out. There we go. So this is essentially what we're working with. Now, the bottom, I'm thinking we're going to put probably a stairway here on either side of this structure. But before we do that, we need to build the bar itself. So I'm thinking I'm going to build the bar right here under the balcony. That's what I'm thinking. Now, we have to be mindful of the height. So I'm going to go ahead and just bring this over so that way we have the height as an indicator. And we're going to start building the actual bar itself. So how I'm going to do that is I want to create like a feature wall. And I did this in one of my other builds. And I can actually show you just for reference for those of you that are visual learners. I will go ahead and show you that in my one build, we created an outdoor pub. And I kind of want to do this similar style, but larger scale. Let me go find it real quick. Hold on. The outdoor pub was somewhere. It's right here. So we're going to build something similar to this. If I can get the camera to work. I know TikTok has a Hold on, let me go in bird view. Okay. We're going to be building something, hold on, work with me, like this. But on a larger scale. So I want to create like a wall of barrels with lighting behind it. So this is essentially what we're going to be making as the backdrop of our bar. To make it look like kegs and, you know, that kind of fun stuff. So going back here, that's the vision that we have. Now, the way that I did that was I used the stair tool. I'm going to do my best to, thank you so much. I'm going to do my best to explain how I'm doing this because, and also to make sure that you guys can see it because I know TikTok, you guys have a different type of view. You guys have only like a centered view, so you're not seeing the full screen as the purple app is. So I'm going to try to do my best to look over every couple seconds to make sure you guys are seeing what I'm doing. Okay, but the way that I did it was essentially I created just like a little stone ledge like this. Kind of like when you're about to build a fireplace, if you guys are familiar with building fireplaces. We're going to stretch this out. And I don't want to necessarily make it the whole entire width because I want it to be able to be where you could walk behind it. So I definitely want to leave some room for walkability. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring it probably, let's do a square. Let's do about a square. I feel like that's good. This is about 3/4 of a square. This is about half a square. So we're going to do it that way. We're going to try to even this out as much as possible. And then we're just going to push it to the wall. We're going to just push it back to the wall. Just like this. Now, you do have to be mindful because the terrain underneath is not going to be completely flat. We are working up on a hillside. So you just want to play with it until you have it where you like it. I'm going to go ahead and bring the wall to... There we go. That's good. That's perfect. I'm going to delete this little bit of pathing just to close the wall up. So essentially this is what we're working with. Now we're going to use our barrels. Well, first we're going to put lights down. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, guys. We're going to put the lighting down first. So we're just going to add a few of these up behind. Try to space them out as evenly as possible. Doesn't have to be perfect though. And then we're going to start adding the barrels. We want the barrels to basically show, like the light to kind of peep through as like a backlight. We don't necessarily want to see the lighting. We just want it to like be like backlight. So we're going to put these here. Now, I might be able to do one more. You can always fit one more. I'm going to go like this. I need to space them just slightly so that way we can actually see the lighting in between the barrels too. So I don't want them touching completely. Let's make this one here. This way. All right, so then, as you can see, this is our height that we're working with. Let's put this over. This is our height that we're working with. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to... I might actually raise this up a little bit. We might go a little bit taller because I do want to create a second row of barrels. But how I'm going to do that is real simple. I'm not going to worry about making individual floating shelves. I'm just going to make one long shelf and then add them on top of that and then sink them down. So that way it looks like a barrel on top of a barrel. That's what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and create that. So you're going to use the stair tool. You're going to raise it up and then you're going to delete the support. And that's what's going to create this floating shelf. However, don't worry about the sparkles because those will disappear. Oh, they might not disappear, but we'll make them disappear. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start adding barrels. Almost perfect. Almost. They need to be readjusted just slightly. The only issue is grabbing onto the stair again is going to be probably tricky because once you like lay it in, sometimes you lose it. You just kind of like okay. Let's see if I can get a hold of this. Oh, look at that. All right, awesome. Can I just bring this down just like this? And that way they're slightly taller. I'm gonna go ahead. Line these up a little bit better. Just like that. Okay. Here we go. Let's bring this over. Alright, we're definitely going to have to raise that up. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to create... I can also move the balcony to not be there. We can put the balcony off to the side. We can put the balcony anywhere. It doesn't even have to have a balcony, guys. It was just a thought. Now we're going to do the balcony. Alright. Actually, you know what? Don't do it here. Don't do it off here because then it's not going to build. You need to build it on the foundation. We're also going to change the color. We're going to make it this dark stone. Now, I don't necessarily know how tall this is going to let me go. Okay, so it's definitely going to want to do that, which is fine. Now, cool note, we could leave it like this, where it's like an undershelf, right? Let's bring it forward just slightly. Like barrels. And then we can add more barrels on top. Now, at nighttime, it should still have like that backlighting, which is what we wanted. I could raise it up just slightly. No, we're going to raise it down. Don't necessarily want the candles to show quite yet. Kind of more of like storage is what I'm thinking. And then we can add barrels on top of the ledge. That will act as like the booze that is going to be used right then and there. So then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add more lights. These ones we're not going to sink in. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to add... Let's add this first. Let's add these first. And then we'll go behind and add the lights. Alright, now we'll go behind and add the lights in between. Okay, something like that. I might actually just space these a little bit better. Alright, how tall does this wall get? Probably not much taller. Oh, actually, you know what? It does get a little bit taller. Guys, it's gonna be a massive building. I always say that whenever I come into like these builds, I'm like, I don't want to make it super tall, and then I end up making it super tall every time. Every time I do that. It's all good though. Okay. It's kind of what we're working with here. This right here. Let's bring this all the way out. It's like the backdrop of our pub. Okay. Now, I just have to make sure that whatever we do here, let me go ahead and try to put a door on. Because we need door height. Let's bring this down. Which we're going to bring this down. Perfect. Now we can add this down like that. Nice. There we go. We got the ceiling height figured out. Okay, let's go ahead and bring it back to daylight. Because I do... Well, first I want to see if I can add... I kind of wish... You know, we'll do it this way. We'll add a light here. And we'll add a light here. See if those are evened up. Those are pretty evened up. Okay. Now, we need to build the bar ledge. To do that, I'm going to grab this just as a prop. Hold on. Thank you so much for the follow. I am building a tavern right now in Tiny Glade. We are working on a port that is for like a pirate theme type of port. So we are working on the tavern right now. So I want to keep this barrel height. I'm going to create some bar stools. I'm going to create some bar stools using the fencing tool, as well as we got to grab the chair. So when we go to make the bar itself, I need it to be the height of the chair that we're about to build. Now, we're also going to be using the stair tool because we need to put the chair up on something. So we're going to create the the chair by creating a little floating shelf, or you could do a platform, whatever's easiest for you. We could do both ways. We can either raise it up just using a stair platform, making it really small, because this is going to get covered anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. We're going to bring our chair over. We're going to place it right on top, just like this. Try to center it, right? Now, this is going to act as, let's see if we can grab onto this. This is going to act as like the chair to this little table, basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down just like this. Maybe bring it down just a little bit further. Doesn't need that much height, just a little bit of height. Actually, I think I might bring it up. About right there. I think this is good. I think that's a good height. So we also need to create the bar ledge that height. So let's go ahead and create the bar ledge. We're going to go ahead and grab, not that bit. This is where the collision gets me every time. We're going to just move this over here. We're going to make a couple of those. I don't want to use the fencing tool quite yet because we're going to, wherever we station these chairs at is basically, once we touch the fencing tool, that's it. That's where it is. You like the fact that I use the furniture as a proper metric for measurements? Thank you. Yeah, I do that a lot. I do that a lot because I like to use I like to go in cinematic viewing where, like, you know, walk mode, and I want to be able to feel like it's proper height to like a person's height. So I like to use props to get the heights. Okay. We're going to build the ledge now. We're going to make it also dark before we go any further. Gonna bring it down. We shouldn't have to bring it down to 2 far. I feel like this might be good. I'm gonna just move this real quick. But we need to bring this back over because, again, we gotta make sure that it looks right. Let's go ahead and bring that over. So I want it just slightly above. Let's bring it up just a little bit more. Just like this. Now I am going to create a lip because I want the chairs to tuck in. So what I'm going to do is, to do that, once I get this height, I'm going to bring this height probably, I think this is good. I just need to even it out a little bit. Let's just bring this down like that. All right, let's bring this over. Now, I do know this is slightly crooked, but that's because the foundation's crooked and the terrain underneath it's crooked. I'm really bad at, like, don't do that. I don't know what you did, but don't do that. Go back to where I had you. Okay. As long as I have about... Oh, that is really crooked, isn't it? Hold on. Hold on, guys. Oh, it's bothering me. Wait, I can't... As long as it's walkable, I'm good. Which it should be. Let's try to straighten this out just slightly. That might make it look better. Alright, let's bring it over to about this width. Just like that. I actually might bring this down just so that way, because we're going to put a lip on it anyways. Okay. And widen it just slightly. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a floating shelf. So the reason I'm putting the chair on the stair is because we're going to make a bar stool. So this is just basically the foundation. You're not going to see this when we're done. What we're going to do is we're going to encase the chair with the fencing tool. And we're basically going to make it look like bar stools. So we're going to do this essentially, and we're going to do it to the sides as well. But it basically acts as the height. So that way we can raise the chair up to fit the height of the counter. So that's what we're going to do. You can do it two different ways. You can just do the stair tool without deleting the support, or you can make the floating shelf and do it that way. Typically, I don't always use the floating shelf because it will create the sparkles, and I don't always want sparkles. Hi, Soul. All right, but this one we are going to create the floating shelf because we want to create like a lip. So we're going to do this. I'm going to bring it down. And I want it to just be a short little lip. Nothing crazy, but a lip. And I actually might make this slightly smaller. I might actually bring this in a little bit because bring this over. Just like that. Now let's put our chair back. Let's make sure that this is high enough, which it's not. You see, it's not. So what we need to do is we need to raise this up. And then raise this up. Because we want the chairs to tuck. We want to feel like they can tuck in. But also, like if you're sitting there, it's not too tall that you can't see over it. So something along the lines of this. I might actually need to raise the stair a little bit taller. Something like this. But that might actually look good. I might be happy with this height. This height might be the winner. You didn't want to ask. You're just pretending to know why. That's okay, guys. Ask questions. Ask away. I know sometimes, like when I'm doodling and creating stuff, it's really hard to explain like what you're doing when you're in the building of it. But I'm always happy to answer questions. All right, so I'm gonna change the color of this real quick. I want it to match the flooring. Now, I'm probably only gonna do maybe 4. At most, maybe 5, because this is using the stair tool or the fencing tool for me is like the bane of my existence, to be honest. So depending upon how flat the terrain is on the underside as well is going to be interesting too. But I got to make a few of these chairs. Wait, hold on. This is crooked. I need to raise this up. Nice. I like that. Also, hold on. Instead of doing that, I do want to widen this just slightly because I'm thinking about putting a sink in there. I think I want to put a sink on the other side. So I want to make sure there's enough room for that. Okay. Let's start building chairs. I don't want to go too crazy on them. Yeah, we're just going to bring it down. This is the easiest way that I can do them. Let's try to even them out. That looks pretty good. Let's bring it forward. Maybe we'll put one like right here. And bring it in just a little bit more. Like that. Okay. Maybe I'll do 4. If I can fit a 5th one, I will, but... let's bring this up just a little bit. Yeah, we'll do 4. I think 4 is a good. It's pretty even. Bring this down. That's not gonna work. There we go. Oh my goodness, what did I do? Don't do that. That scares me every time. I know that, thank goodness we have an undo button. Could you imagine if we didn't? Thank you, devs, for creating an undo back button. Like, that would be amazing. It was the most amazing creation ever. Okay, cool. I like that. All right, now I like the way that there's space. That's pretty nice. I am actually going to keep this in the darker wood tone. This is where it's going to be the bane of my existence because I'm not the biggest fan of the fencing tool. I use it all the time, but I don't like the collision on it. I'm not always a fan of the collision. Okay. So that's about the height that I need. But is it going to match this height? No, they're all going to be different because why would they be the same? Okay. Let's bring this over. Nice. Now, you can leave it with the backing like this if you like this type of like back, or you could, oh, I lost it. Hold on. Let's go back. Or you could bring it all the way up and just have it look like an actual just chair this way. So it just depends upon the style that you're going for. So you can have it like this, and then you can do the sides, and the only thing showing of the natural chair would be just the seat itself. Or if you want to keep the backing, you can just bring this down and just cover it like this. So that way you can keep the backing as like a little architectural feature. It's completely up to you. I don't know which one I would prefer. I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided what I like more. Now, if you do that, you can also do it this way as well. So if you like the backing, you can keep the sides too. So where it looks like of the arm handle, or like we did with the back, you can bring it up and you can have it be part of, let's bring it down just a little bit. You can have this be part of the arm as well. And then obviously add another one like this. And then, like I said, all you have is like the seat itself showing just like that. So it just depends upon the style that you're going for. But either way, this will be hidden. The stair that you use to lift it will be hidden. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to go with my original idea, and I'm going to go ahead and just use the chair as the chair was intended. So I'm going to bring this down, and I'm just going to cover, because I like the two-tone effect. Sometimes I think like too much brown on brown on brown on brown can look a little too much brown. Hold on. Collision is getting me. There we go. Just bring it over this way. Anyone else struggle? Because I struggle. I want to bring it just to this height. Just like this. I need to bring it down just slightly more. I might actually go this way. Hold on. Just a tad bit more. Because like that. Okay. Cut this. Bring this down. I'm going to bring it up just slightly. Nope. Bring it down. Like right there. Nice. I like that. And then we're going to go ahead and do it on the other side. Bring this down. It's actually pretty good. I'm happy with that. As long as it's not clipping, I'm good. Okay, there's one bar stool. 3 more to go. Hi, Cheesy. Good morning. It is Friday. You deserve it. Do it. There you go. That stair needs to be. That's going to bother me. I need to fix that. I want to inlay it a little bit more, but it's going to... I need to grab onto the stair. And bring it in. Like that. Maybe as good as we're going to get it. It's going to be as good as we're going to get it, but that's okay. That's not okay. That's not okay. Hold up. Hold up. Can I just move the chair itself? Can I just do this? That's better. It's clipping a little bit, but that's okay. Let's bring this out. Just like that. Let's bring these out. If I can grab a hold of it. You know what? It's all right. It's having its moment. We're going to let it have its moment. Okay. I love it when I get the perfect height the first try. I am making a tavern, and right now we are working on creating some bar stools using the stair tool, the fencing tool, and a chair prop. Sometimes it's so hard to see what you're doing. Hold on. Okay. Let's bring it up just a little bit so it's kind of matching the other ones. Down a little bit. Just a smidge. About right there. That looks good. Okay. So that is our little bar. A little ledge that we created, which is super, super cute. Now, I am thinking we're going to bring this out just slightly because like we said, this is a balcony, right? So we're going to bring this out like this. Okay. But before we do that, I do want to add a little bit to the bar itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, if it will let me, I think I'm going to create some sinks. I'm going to do it the easy way using the fencing tool. There's really no easy way to create a sink, but it's easier than one of my other methods. I use two ways of making sinks. One of them is with the fencing tool. The other one is with the bucket that has like the water in it. But either way, you're going to be using the wall tool and the stair tool to make the faucet. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make this blue. We're going to, I think I might do 2 sinks. So we're just going to cut a couple of these. We might not use them all, but we're just going to have a couple on hand. Now, this is all about layering. So I'm thinking we're going to have a sink over here. I'm going to bring it down just like this. You want to sink it down. Okay. Going to bring another one over. Wait, first, before we do that, let's... Now we're going to sink it down. Maybe we'll do a third one. Actually, let's go for a 4th one. Let's just go for the 4th one. Let's try to... Wait, hold on. Before I sink that in, let's bring it out just slightly. I'm not worried about this blue showing because we are going to fix that. Basically, we want it to be something like this. Pretty happy with that. All right, now I'm going to create some that are... Oop, not that. This. Nope. Go back. Some that are the white trim. And I'm going to bring this down. We're going to try to layer this in. Hold on, I need to change my camera view. There we go. I'm gonna layer this in. And the idea is it's gonna look like flowing water. I'll bring this one here. Oh, maybe not. Let's go like this. Alright, before I do that, let's move it more this way. Then let's bring it down. Try to just clip it in there, just like that. Might do one more. Towards the back. Hold on, let me grab this. Let's bring it forward just a little bit. This. I'm pretty happy with that because we're gonna use the wall tool. Now this is where it's gonna be tricky because I do have to remove some. Oh, this is going to be a nightmare. I have to remove some of the padding underneath for the wall tool to work. So. Oh. Alright, so we need to do... Actually, no. I need to remove it. Remove it. Gotta remove it. And just pray that it's close enough. That's okay. Okay. Now let's bring this over and see if we made a difference. We did. All right. So this is essentially what we're going to be working with. We are going to be... First, I need to cut this down. We need to change the color to... We're going to stick with the darker stone. I'm going to cut this down. We got to make these real small. I'm going to be working with a couple of these pieces. I'm going to bring it over. This is going to help us line out the sink. We're going to bring it down. We want to create a little bit of a lip, so we're just probably going to have it about this height. Maybe we'll go a little bit shorter. About that height is good. And we're going to go all the way around, and we're going to create basically like this, the outline of this sink. And then we're going to use the stair tool as well as a little bit of the wall tool to create the faucet itself. So we're going to be making a bunch of these little skinny... Let's bring it down. Just like that. Okay. Now we're going to create these sides. This way. Okay. There we go. That looks better. Okay. Now we're going to do the other two sides. Bring this forward. Let's see what I'm doing. Okay. The concentration is real, guys. And you see, that's why I don't mind if this was showing, because of the fact that it's going to get covered. It's going to get covered. That's why I wasn't too worried about the blue fencing showing. Okay. Oh my gosh, the sensitivity is crazy. All right, so this is where you can tell that like I didn't get enough. I didn't remove the fencing tool well enough, or not the fencing, but the pathing. So wish me luck, guys. You just need just enough. Perfect. See, we fixed that. All good. Bring this down. Just like that. I'm pretty happy with that. That looks pretty good. I do like that. Okay, so now the way that we're going to make the faucet is we're just going to cut the wall. Again, we're going to bring it this way, flatten it. Try to center it the best that I can. We're going to bring it over. Hold on. I'm going to bring it over. I'm going to center it to the sink that we just created. I'm going to bring it down. And I like to bring it down to just like one brick height. So about like right there, just one brick height. And then to make the faucet itself is going to be using the stair tool. And we're going to create the tiny little block. So we're actually going to create a stair. We're going to make it floating. So we're going to delete the support if I can actually get it to, there it goes. We're going to delete the support and we're going to condense this down. First we're going to make it as straight as we can and then we're going to, can I grab this? We're going to condense it down to a plank and then we're going to make it real small into this wooden block. We're going to bring this wooden block over. It's okay if it's a little crooked. Sometimes it just wants to not. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. And this is basically how I make the faucet. So we have our little faucet right now. Now, if you wanted to make it look like it's having water come out of it, you're basically just going to use the fencing tool. You're going to make a single plank. So we're going to go ahead and grab the fencing. We're going to condense it down like this. Actually, I'm going to make it go up. Go up. Down a little bit. Because you can then have it look like it's running water. You can also push it if you don't want it to have that much water. You can push it into the wall piece. Granted, I would probably make this a little bit thicker. So that way it looks like it's flowing. Hold on, let me fix this bit right here. So this is what I would do. I would just make this bit thicker. So that way you can make it look like it's flowing into the sink. So now you have flowing water. Cute. Now we can do another sink over here. So basically another one right here. Question is Tiny Glade gonna Tiny Glade for us, or is it gonna fight with us? That's the real question. Okay, so let's try to create another one. We'll see how far we can get. Okay. Need to come up just a little bit. Can I have the scale thingy? It's saying no to me. It's saying no, you cannot have the scaler. Hold on. Let's go back. There we go. Let's just keep it at this height for right now. Okay, I need to bring it down just a little bit. What's this one look like? A little bit more. Feel like just a little bit shorter. There we go. That's better. Let's bring it this way in between these two. Make it just... Try to make it the same width as the other one. Okay, nice. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and keep this height, but we're going to cut it. I might get away with 3 on this one. This needs to go up just a little bit. Yeah, let's do 3 on this one. Okay. I'm gonna grab these. Bring it down. Just want to layer it in. Maybe bring it up just a little bit. It's too tall. There we go. Nice. Nice. All right, now same thing. Gonna create the lip of the sink. But first I gotta remove some of the padding. I'm gonna be very, very careful about this. That's okay. It's just a little sudsy there. That's not okay. Let's go back. Nope. All right, hold on. It doesn't know what it wants to be. Hold on. Let me see. If I bring this over, is that gonna... Nope, we're good. We're good. We're good. All right, cool. Let's go this way. Perfect. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's check this way. Nice. I think one more on this side, and then we just have to do the other side and then the faucet, and then we can move on. Alright. Alright, so we gotta we gotta use the eraser right here as well. Let's just try to... Ooh. Scary. It's really sudsy water right there. Alright. This is not too bad. I can hopefully hide it. No, I can't. Alright, so... gotta go a little bit. Do like go here. I don't want to go too crazy with... There it goes. Awesome. Okay. Of course. Of course it would do that. Okay. No! No, 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 no. I like how like it works for me on this side and then like over here it's just like nope. Wait, hold on, I might have fixed it. Unknowingly. Oh, thank goodness. Hopefully, no more hiccups. I can finish the sink out. Oopsies. Let's go this way. They got vines in their plumbing. Nice. All right, now let's create the faucet part. And then what we're going to do is we're going to change the color of this to blue. Going to get rid of the wall. Actually, no, we're not going to get rid of it. We're just going to move it over here. And then we're going to bring in the stair. Because we need to create the ladder. Delete the support. make it into a plank. And then condense it down to a square. I also need to get rid of... Maybe it's gonna fit. Let's bring it over. Okay. Gonna bring this over. Actually, let me make it a bit taller. Alright, it's gonna be a little finicky because of the pathing tool being erased. Might be able to fix it though. Maybe not. I might need to bring this forward just a bit. As good as it's gonna get. Nice. 2 different height sinks, but that's okay. We have one for tall glasses and one for short glasses. That's all good. All good. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually inlay some barrels into it. I'm gonna create a few of these. I want these to act like plates, as you will. So we're just gonna sink them in. I'm definitely gonna have to like cover this with a little bit of wall, I think. Because I know like from walkability, you're not gonna see it unless you're really looking for it. But I think on the sides, we're gonna have to cover the sides for sure. But basically, these are gonna act like little plates. Pretend there's like peanuts or something on there. Okay, let me use this little bit. Not that. I don't know what that was doing. Because we're gonna come over here. Bring this down. I even like create this into a nope. I need to hold on. Good old let's just erase it. Nice. Nice. That's what we're looking for. All right, now same thing on the other side. But I'm probably going to do the same thing. Remove a little bit of this. Let's bring it over. I'm okay with it. Actually, I'm okay with this. Can I make it match? Yes. Perfect. Because I want to keep it looking like a ledge. Nice. Sweet. This is what we have so far of our lovely little tavern. Now, I do want to create, like I said, I want to bring this out basically like this. Right? You know what else would be really, really fun? This is gonna be a fancy. Okay, okay, visual. You see the lighthouse, right? We're looking at the lighthouse. You see how I created this like chandelier right here? Yeah, I kind of want to do the same thing on the inside of here. I don't know if it's gonna work though, but we're gonna try. So basically, the way that I did. Hi, Jess. Welcome in. The way that I did that. Sorry if I'm just now seeing your chat. I have been hyper focused on what I'm doing. Is you're gonna create like a floating structure, and I need to make it kind of small. To be honest, I need to make it small. Yeah, about this small, and then small as it can go. And then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna find the center. And you're going to make it the same. And it makes a float like this. So you're going to bring this down. Now, I should be able to... See, here's the problem, though. The moment I move this, it's going to... Yeah, so hold on. I need to go... I need to do this. We need to raise it up, right? I need to raise it up. First, I need to figure out... That should be fine on height, to be honest. All right. Raise it up. And then we got to bring the other one over, which is not going to let me do that. So I got to do it again. So I'm going to raise it up just slightly, a little bit more. We're going to create it again. Center it. There we go. Perfect. Going to bring this down. Now, I just want enough to do lights around it. So let me put lights on it. Let me put lights on it. Hello. It wants to put it on the collision of this game sometimes gets me so bad. Because it wants to put it on everything but where my cursor is. I don't want it on top. I want it on the side. Ay. If I did it on top, though, I don't want it on top. Wait, hold on. What if I... No, definitely need to... There it goes. This is what I want. How low can I go? I just want to try this out. Hello. I feel like this isn't going to be tall enough. I might need to raise it up a little bit. Hold on, let's go here. Let's raise them up. Okay. Why is there supports? What? Okay, well, first off, let's see what this looks like. It is not low enough. I don't want to raise this up any higher because this wall only gets so tall. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to... Why gotta be so cruel? How about you let me do what I want? Just eat that. Start over. Let me do what I want. What if I... Hold up. I need reference. How the heck did I do this? No, I definitely did it with... You see how low it let me do this on these ones? I don't understand why you were fighting me over here. Why? It let me go like this height over there. Oh, never mind. Now it's letting me do. Never mind. There we go. This is something I wanted. Okay, I just wanted like a nice little feature because I want to bring this over. Right? And I want it to act like a ceiling light. This is what I have envisioned, but I didn't want it clipping. All right, now we go at nighttime. This is what I'm thinking. Because when we're in walking mode, let's go in walking mode real quick. Where are we? Let's go this way. I don't even know if I can get up there because I don't have like a way to get up in it, but it might not let me up in it. You let me climb. Oh, this is what I'm thinking. Look how nice this will be. Like just walking up underneath it. Imagine it fully enclosed. It's nice. It's our little bar. Little bar that we're making so far. And then like up here will be like more dining, sitting area. Now, I don't necessarily know if I want to add, I'm thinking like tables. If I was to do tables down here, I might go ahead and just do more of the barrels and then painstakingly create some more of the bar stools. But then up here, possibly have more of like tables, like booths made out of the stair tool, because we're not going to be able to use the fencing tool because the fencing tool snaps to the terrain. There's no way to lift it up. So you're kind of stuck using the stair tool as your table. Otherwise, I would love to make wooden tables upstairs. I would love to. But the only way I would be able to hide the supports is if there was a wall here, like where it's being highlighted. If there's like a wall here and it just basically like, it's just a wall. And then I can hide the supports within the structure of the walls. But unfortunately, we do not have it where the fencing tool can be raised up like the stair tool and stuff like that, where it has like floatability. Maybe in the future. Maybe. Who knows? But let's go ahead and put it back in daylight mode. Let's go back in daylight mode. Let's start building some of the... See, a part of me kind of also... we need to do stairs. We do. We need to do stairs. So I'm thinking maybe we do stairs on just one side because we want to be able to walk behind the bar. And if I do stairs on both sides, we're not going to be able to walk behind the bar unless I make the building bigger. And by doing that, it's going to mess with a lot of what we just laid down. So let's go ahead and just build a stairway. And I'm thinking we will build it to... Do I want left or right? Left or right? I think I'm going to build it to the left. I think I'm going to build it to the left. Now, we could do it where we have like a nice little like L shaped out, you know, like a little landing. So we could do it this way. Let's make it a little thick, you know? Let's just make it a little thick. All right. We're going to start it here. We can cut it. Okay. Cut it again. Let's bring it over this way. Bring this over this way. I'm gonna cut it right here as well. I'm gonna try to square this out as much as I can. I'm not the best with stairs. I'm still learning. But I'm getting better with them. Okay, now we're just gonna start bringing it this way. Alright, I don't want that to snap yet. Alright, so maybe something like that. That's maybe we'll go a little bit skinnier. Maybe not. Maybe not too, because I want to, you know, the walkability around this. I could also make it floating. So we could delete the support for that. So it looks like it's floating as well. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and try to straighten this out the best that I can. I'm going to make it slightly smaller. Not too small though. Maybe we'll round this out a little bit. Like that. I wish there was like a way to like really corner this off. I want to like pie piece it. Like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but I want to do something like this. I want to like, kind of messes with this though, doesn't it? So we need to like, hold on. I think I liked it better how I had it before. Just a fan for how like crooked that looks. Hold on. Alright, let's see what this looks like. If I was to do this, right? We'll just get rid of that support, right? And then let's change the color to the dark. And then we'll go ahead and we'll add the railing. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. We're going to have, so I could delete the support here as well, but we're going to have the wall kind of butted up against it. I do know that we're going to have railing, hold on. We're going to have railing up here as well. Kind of overlooking. I do need to bring this forward like this. Just like that. Okay. Nice. Now, I don't know if I need it to be this wide. Maybe that's fine. We'll add a couple tables up here, I think is what we're going to do. So let me go ahead. The big question that I'm going to have right now is it ceiling height? One, I don't like the fact that this isn't straight. 1 second. Let me get rid of this bit. On this straight wall. I need to bring this in just a little bit on this side. Bring this out. Okay, this should be door height at least. Alright, that got rid of my support. Hold on. There we go. I like... Got rid of my light too. What the heck? Where'd my light go? Alright, let me put that back in. Why are you deleting my light? Don't do that. Stick it right there. That is not even. That is not even. Is that better? That's better. Okay. Alright, true test. Basically, we're going to put a door in. We got to make sure it's door height, which it is. Look at that, door height. So, the only issue is... Actually, no, we can go slightly above. I'm going to start adding windows. Alright, let's start adding windows up here. Try to even it out. 5, I think looks good. Let's bring this. There Not from far away. Is that super tall? It's not horribly tall, but it will be tall-ish. All right, now we're going to start creating tables. And I'm thinking we're probably going to end up using... So there's two ways we can do this. We can use the foundation tool, like these, and we can make round wooden tables. And the same theory as we did before. Now, this is going to want to... We can do it like this, right? There's enough walkability that we can have a table here, right? With like 2 chairs on either side and another one over here, right? Can I make these any smaller? Not really. We can bring 2 tables forward. We can have one here in the corner as like a sweetheart's table. I don't want to do too many tables just because I don't want it to feel overly crowded. But a few tables I think would be nice. So what I'm going to do... So we could do it this way. We can also do it with square tables. So we have tables like this as well. We can do it with this foundation. Can make them rectangular too. Hold on. Let me see. Get rid of this. Usually I would use the fencing tool, but this is another option. If you want them slightly larger, you can make them like this. Which then you could probably have 2 tables basically side by side. One here and one here. And you would just walk around the 2 tables, kind of going up and around this area. And it will seat 8 up here. Or another way you can make tables outside of the fencing tool is you can just use your stair tool. This can make the table slightly smaller, which I believe we use this style over here. So it will look more like this. You can make them slightly smaller. But the downside is you're not going to get the wood. You're not going to get the wood effect. So that's the downside. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the wooden tables, these circle ones up here. And then down here, I might use the barrels as the table, like little high top tables. So these ones are going to be more like dinner height. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab... Let me just come over here and grab this. Just grab this. Just so we have it on hand. I am going to change the wooding. The reason why I have it this way is because I like to use the grid to make floor plans, as well as I know that if you have at least 1.5 squares to 2 squares, it's walkable. Minimum 1 square, but then everything feels very claustrophobic when you're walking and you don't get a good camera point of view. So if you can make it at least 2 squares wide for like the aisles and stuff in between furniture and stuff, it looks a lot nicer, in my opinion. So we're definitely going to change the wood. We're going to go with the chevron or the herringbone. I think I like that. And then I think... I might go with the darker tone, to be honest. I might do the darker tone. And then leave the trim the lighter tone, just so there's a little bit of contrast with all the brown. All right, we're going to go ahead. We're going to put this table here. We're going to bring this chair up because we're going to need to grab... You see how crazy tall that is? We're going to need to grab chair height. Okay. Let's go ahead and put this chair in the corner. And we're going to have it at an angle. We're going to make it look like it's like someone sat there, you know? Okay, we're going to do the same thing over here. Now this one going like this. Just like that. And then I like to do centerpieces. So we're going to do a little bit of a centerpiece. And I also want to create another chandelier up on the ceiling as well. So what we did down here, I might do up there. Or better yet, I might actually create it. I might create it like in I know you guys can't see my mouse cursor in TikTok, but I might create it like you see where the chair and the stair is right here that I'm highlighting. I might create the chandelier in this bit overlooking the bottom bit. Because the ceiling height might be too short to do that on the upper level. What am I doing? This. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, guys. Alright, we're going to create a centerpiece using... Let me go grab it. I'll grab it from here. I'm going to use this. This is a fancy tavern. Okay. I'll put this here. And condense it down. I'm actually going to copy it because we're going to use it a bunch of times. Okay, we're going to just bring this into the middle just like this. We're going to push it down. I still want the little tray on there. We're going to keep the tray. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to create another one. One of the other builds that I had in mind for this port town was I would love to do a tavern. Not tavern, but an inn. I am debating whether or not to make it walkable. Because if I do build it in, I'm thinking maybe it would have a couple bedrooms. Obviously, it would. Like, I'm thinking like reception desk. And then we'll have like a couple bedrooms upstairs. I have to really think about how I'm going to do the floor plan. Because with making props, as you can tell, like with the fencing tool, you're going to see all of the supports underneath the structure itself or within the walls. And so if I was to build the tavern up here on the highest cliff point into it, I'm going to have to really be mindful of if I use the stair tool or if I use the fencing tool, that where are those supports going to show and how can I hide them if there is a second story. Now I could make it all a single level and that makes it easier. And if I eliminate the fencing tool, how am I going to create the props that I need to create? I could, like, same thing with the wall tool as well, because the wall tool also only snaps to the terrain. So if you eliminate those two tools because you're working on a second story, it could be quite difficult to make the props that you need for a walkable build. So I'm trying to be like, okay, how would I design that? Is it impossible? No, it's not impossible. It is not impossible. Would it be difficult? Probably. But usually when I like think about ideas like this, I typically do it. Like I talk about it and then I'm like, you know what? Let's just try it. So we're going to make an inn, guys. We're going to do an inn. Because how can it be a port town without an inn? What are you doing? Why are you? Oh. Alright, I'm going to have to raise this up. Because it wants to snap. Alright, I'm going to hold down control because I don't want this snapping. This is going to prevent it from snapping. I'm going to sink this one down further so only the candles show. And And I'm going to just tuck it in as best as I can. Just like this. I'm not too worried. What am I doing? Why am I doing it on that one? That table is not laid out where it needs to be. What am I doing? I'm not too worried about it showing at the bottom because we're going to have another chair. And when you're walking, you're not going to notice that anyways. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Grab this. Okay, same thing. First I'm going to rotate it. And I'm going to rotate it a little bit more. Okay, now we're going to bring it over. Just like that. Nice. I'm going to add one more chair, I think. Okay, right here. So it looks something like this. All right, now we're going to add this table right there. Fix this little bit real quick. Okay, cool. Same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and just make 2. Oops. Scrap that. Do another one over here. Let's bring it up. I'm gonna rotate it so the candles are facing towards the right. And we're gonna sink it down. Then we're gonna rotate these ones. Gonna face it this way. There we go. Nice. Same thing, we're gonna add chairs. So let's go ahead and just copy paste these. There we go. Okay. Now, I do want to add some sconces to the wall. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to add a light here. And another one here. And another one. Another one. I do have these dimmed, so that way they're not super bright at night. So when we go back to night mode, this is what we're looking at. They're a little bit dimmed. I didn't want them. I want the lighthouse to be the brightest light. So everything else is dimmed. I'm also going to add some lighting to, I think, the stairway. I think we're just going to add a light here. And maybe we'll add one here. And one there. Maybe one right here. And then... let's try to add one like right there. I think that looks nice. Maybe we'll do one right in the middle. Let's try put that out of the way a little bit. Okay. Nice. Okay. Now, the real question is what do I do with this back portion? That's... because I don't know if I necessarily want it just to be like empty space back there, but I also don't want it to be super cluttered either. So let's bring it back to daylight mode. And let's just try to see how creative we can get. Let's see what could we, like, what props do we have? We have, what do I have lying about? What could I do? What could I do? What could I do? I'm thinking... we can add a couple barrels. Hold on, we can do a couple barrels. We can do... what if we had a couple barrels? And actually, no. Let's use... ooh, let's use the candle ones. We can make some bar seating, but instead of it being bar seating, we'll bring them down here. This is what I'm thinking. Let's use the stair, right? Let's make it the darker stone. Let's condense it down. I am going to use this. We're going to bring it up. We're going to sink this into the floor. Hopefully not clipping through the foundation, but we're going to sink it. We're going to make it a floating shelf first. But we're going to bring it up because I don't want it this tall. I want it to be the same. Hold on, let me grab this. I want it to be like table height, basically. So it's not going to go super into the floor. It's just a little bit, just a smidge. Just so that way I can make these smaller tables. Just like that. So let's grab another chair. Should still be able to walk around these as well. Let's make this one look like it's facing this way. We'll have to test the walkability of that. Let's test the walkability of that. As long as we can get through it, we're good. Okay, I cannot get through this though. This is not letting me do anything. We gotta fix that. So to fix that, all we're gonna do is we're just gonna widen it. Try to at least. Let's widen that, and then we're gonna move these lights this way. All right, now let's try it. That should fix it. Perfect. So as long as we can walk, we're good. Now, I do have to be mindful. If I put one here, I'm probably going to have the chairs facing this way. And then I could probably put one here. But yeah, let's go ahead and come back down. All right, let's see. Let's just try that. Let's change the color. All right. Let's grab this. And bring it up. Like that. Bring this over. I'm gonna grab another chair. Let's bring this down. I want it to be the same height as this one actually, so let's bring it down just a little bit. Perfect. Let's have it be this window. Let's bring it this way. It should be fine. Yeah, we should be fine. So this one could be... Maybe we'll have this one go this way. Ooh, wait, hold on. I should have brought that out a little bit more. Alright, hold on. Alright, let's bring it this way. That's better. Now let's rotate this. And then do the same thing on the other side. Maybe we'll have this one also like this. Nice. And we'll do one more over here in the corner. We'll do a couple of the tables downstairs. And then we'll go ahead and do the outers. We'll do like the main stairway that leads up to it. And I think that would be it for the tavern build. I might actually create a fireplace. To be honest, I might create a fireplace. I feel like this needs a fireplace in it. Okay, let me grab this. Let's bring it over. Okay. Don't know if I'll be able to walk that. I could tuck this in though. Hold on. Could pretend that this chair is tucked in. And then that table's kind of stuck where it's at. So let's go ahead and grab this. This way. And then let's put this one going this way. Nice. Okay, let's walk it. Nice. Perfect. And it doesn't feel like it's overly crammed. You know, it's a nice These tables are so tall. It's a nice balance of room, I feel. And then coming around here, we can still walk up under here as well. We can get all the way around here. So yeah, I'm happy with this. Very, very happy with this. All right. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to delete some of this extra stuff that I have going on. All right. Gonna get rid of these props. Just for right now. I kind of want to create a fireplace here where my cursor is. I want to create a fireplace, I think, right here. Because I can hide the supports if need be in the cliffside. I'm not too worried about it. The trees will cover it up. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and create a lovely little fireplace. And then we'll add maybe like a table down here. I don't want to make it too large. I also kind of want to make it curved. Or at least angled in some way. Maybe angled would be better. Doesn't have to be massive, but I wouldn't mind it being angled. I don't mind if it clips out just slightly because I can always use the wall tool. Hold on, I'm going to hold down control so that doesn't snap. I can always use the wall tool to carve it out. So I'm not too worried about that bit. We can have it come about right here. Let's bring it a little further out like that. Okay. Nice. All right. I'm going to bring it forward just slightly. Angle that. Thinking this is good. I'm thinking this is good. All right, I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. And then I'm going to use, I'm going to find the wood. There it was. I'm going to find the wood. Bring it in just like that. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a little bit wider. Because I want to put lighting behind it. So we're going to bring this forward just right there. And then I'm going to use 2 of these. I'm going to try to hide them. And then I'm going to make these bright. Do it that way. And then I'm gonna actually add the sparkles in. First, let me change the color of this and the color of this. And maybe I'll just add this bit first. Let's just add this bit first. Okay. Just bring it down slightly. I'm gonna bring it forward. Alright. Pretty happy with that. I am gonna sink these lights in. Hold on, I'm gonna sink those lights in. I'm gonna create just a little tiny floating shelf. I don't want them sticking out above the wood. I just want a little bit of light in the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab these lights. Set them down. I'm gonna bring them over. There we go. That's what I want. And then same thing for the sparkles. So we're going to create a couple sparkles by just using the stair tool. I'm going to also change it to the darker color because it matches better with the wood. I'm just going to bring this in. Just like this. There we go. I'm pretty happy with that. I might condense it just a little bit. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. There's our little fireplace. All right, now I gotta start adding the wall in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut this. Take this bit. I do need to remove some of the... I might actually make this tavern dark. To be honest, I might just do it all in brick. I might make it just all the brick. And go ahead and just grab that. Gonna bring it down. Okay. Gonna remove the pathing. Like that. Nice. Gonna do the same thing over here. We're gonna cut... Oh, we'll cut this wall. Bring it over here. Bring it down. I know the light is clipping in the wall a little bit, but I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me. Let's go ahead and fix the wall. Perfect. Let's go ahead and bring this down. Nice. All right, now to do this little bit right here, I'm thinking probably gonna do the wall tool again. So let me go ahead and grab this. Actually, what I'm going to do is, where's that other bit? One with the 3-point. Let's grab this. So we can curve the wall out. Hold on. Actually, I need 4 points. So let me go ahead and let's just start over. I need to do like a curvy wall. This is what I need to do. I'm going to do maybe 5. We'll do 5. Let's bring it over. Because I want to create... Hold on, let me do it over here. Let me fix this over here. Go this way. Might be better off just making a square, to be honest. I was trying to do like a curvature. Hold on. I wanted it to look like it was part of Does that get rid of my lights though? It might get rid of my lights. Hold on. Does it get rid of my lights? I think it does. Alright, there's my lights. Let me try it this way then. Let's do F4. I might need to add... I might need to add fencing underneath there again. So I don't want it to get rid of my light. Worst case... This is what I do. Hold on. Worst case, I do this. What? Don't move that. Hold up. Okay. Where's this one? Why is that doing that? That makes no sense to me. Hold on. Why are you... Okay. Now I just need to bring it forward. Where's the... this bit? Okay. The light is still in there. It's in there. But I like it. It's a little bit more cozier than what it was before. If I move it this way, get a little bit more light. But I think I'm pretty happy with this for right now. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Now, I could add something there. I kind of want to do it the other way, though. It's not going to work, though. That's the issue. I'm thinking, guys. I'm thinking. I could make it like a mantelpiece. Like, I can bring it down, right? Like this. And we can add, like, flowers or something, you know? And then on the back side, I could do something similar. Hold on. Yeah, I need a 4-pointer again. Get rid of this. Actually, what I could do is, hold on. Will the chimney work here? Can I raise this up? I can. Okay. Can I move it and put another one next to it, possibly? I can. I can do that. I need to, like, hold on. Let me move this wall this way real quick. Let me move this. I want to do. I want to do that. Alright, now let's bring this up here. That's not gonna work. Okay, hold on. That's not gonna do what I want it to do. Thank you. I'm trying to make it look insane. Trying. Okay, this is what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to, like, make it like an angular wall, I think. Which is gonna bother me because this is gonna, like, hold on. This is gonna bother me. That's not gonna work. Let me move these. Let's just wait, hold on. What if, can I put these? I cannot put them on a stair, but I could put them on a foundation. Hold up. How small can the foundations get? How small can they get? Let's make that stone. It's kind of cobblestone, isn't it? Let's make it the dark wood. Let's try this. It's as small as it gets. Oh, but what if... Hold on. Let's bring this down. We'll just make this like a feature. Bring it down a bit more. Think of it as like a mantle, I guess. That's what we're going for. Let's bring this in. Line it up. Okay. Now, will you snap to this? Oh, thank goodness. Look at that. Can I? Ooh, I can. Hold up. We're cooking here. I like this. All right, now let's bring this all the way up. Through the roof. Hi. And then we'll add, you know, it needs a little bit of flowers in here, doesn't it? It needs something, a little bit of color. Let's just do a little bit of color. Let's do the handy dandy flower box. These. Let's just add these. Let's bring them out. Perfect. Nice. There we go. I'm happy with that. I am. I'm happy with that. Let's bring this back over now. Do I care if it's connected? No, I don't care. I don't care. I kind of care. Okay, now windows. We need windows, guys. So let's start adding them. What am I doing? That's not a window. I'm gonna do, I think down here we're gonna do the doubles. Hold on, let me in here. Let me get in here. I'll add one here. And another one right there. I'm gonna move this light over. Slightly. Nice. Okay, we're gonna add some windows here as well. I need to fix this bit right first. I can talk today. Surely. Okay, we're gonna do. Let's do. Oh my goodness. I'm just trying to get this where you guys can see what I'm doing because your guys' view is a little different than the purple app. Actually, you know what? I'm going to double these ones. We're going to double them up. I'm going to bring the other one over here and then do the same thing down here. Nice. And do the same thing over here. With me. Try to make it the same height as the other windows. Grab one here. Nice. Same thing. We're gonna do some windows here. I think these ones we're just gonna have normal. Let's bring this wall down. And then do window here. Okay. Honestly, I don't even know if I can add any more tables, to be honest. If I did do a table, it would be right here. Right here. See where this little trap door is? I'm gonna put the trapdoor right here, actually. We're gonna pretend that in the basement of this place is where they keep all of their inventory. So I think what I am gonna do is I'm just gonna grab another one of these barrels. And I think I'm just gonna throw it right here. Just throw it right here in the corner. The more candles, the better, you know? And I actually, you know what? Let's play with some different leveling. Let's add another barrel, like maybe 2 more barrels. We'll make a cluster of barrels and we will have them at different heights. So it looks like. Hi, Skeptical! We are in Tiny Glade and we are building a port town for our pirate ship that we created. Sorry if I'm just now seeing it, but this is basically what we're working with. This is the full glade. And right now we are working over here on our little tavern, our little bar, as you will. And then some of the other ideas that I have are I want to build a inn, you know, like a little inn and make some rooms and stuff. We also have some cool little things. I built this little secret cavern that we have right here. We're going to fill this up with some stuff. We also have a secret little cavern through here as well. We built another one here. And then we have our original over yonder that we built, which is through here. And it has like this little magical tree in it. So that is what we are working on. I do apologize, guys, if I am seeing your chats a little bit late. I am still trying to get used to building and trying to look at the chat every couple minutes. So I'm not ignoring you. I'm just like zoned in. I'm zoned in, guys. But I also want to take a moment. Thank you guys for all the follows. Thank you for those of you that are watching and for those that gifted. Thank you again for B3 Gaming, X807, and Supermark for the heart. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I am still trying to get used to multi-streaming. Usually I'm over on the Purple app, but today we're doing the Purple app and TikTok. So if those of you that are on the Purple app prefer to watch on TikTok, you can find me under Lumashell, and I am live currently. And if you prefer the Purple app, I am over there. Also, Lumashell. All right, I was doing barrels. That's what I was doing. So we're going to play with different heights. I'm going to make sure this is centered, actually. Let's get this on this ledge. I'm going to bring this down. And this is basically what I'm thinking. It's just having them be like that. And then we're going to do a third one, I think, on the other side. I'm going to raise this up because I can't really see what I'm doing. Delete the support. A table with a barrel base could be cool. Yeah, that could be cool. Yeah, I did a couple barrel tables. This is as low as it's gonna let me go, huh? Let's bring it over this way then. Let's rotate it. Let's have it go this way. Just like that. Yeah, so up here, I don't know if this is what you mean, Juicy, but I did some barrels. I sunk them in just slightly into the floor using the stair tool, so that way they could be similar height to the chair. Okay, I also want to add, I'm a sucker for candles, guys. I want to add, let's see if I can get it up. I want to do the same thing over here. I'm going to add just a barrel there. We're going to do the same thing over on the other side. And we're going to add kind of the same theory, the tiers, like what we did here, we're going to do in those corners. Oh, ooh, yeah. Are you thinking like the foundation circle? Like have, I'm a visual person. I gotta see. Hold on. Juicy came up with a new idea and I need to see it now. This will be cute. Hold on. You'll try the foundation, but I just looked at someone doing it with fence pieces. Interesting. How did they square it out? Because if you do the circle, I'm trying to think like how are you able to see the barrel? Because it will kind of cover the barrel. I wonder if they squared it out. I haven't seen that yet. This is why I like Tiny Glade, guys. All the ideas and creativity. Oh, wait, you know what? You could do the floating. Hold on. Let me center this. I might lose the candle, but we can always double barrel it. Oh, you know what? Let's just do that. Let's just double barrel it real quick. They use a small circle and put the fences around it. It made the fence pieces go angular. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I'm gonna try something very different from what you're describing. Hold on. I'm gonna double this up. I want to double it up because I want the candles to show at the top. This would be like what I would like that. All right, now we're gonna bring this over. I'm gonna bring it down about right there. Maybe a little bit higher. Wait, hold on. If I got rid of this. This is kind of like what I had in mind. I need to get rid of that stair tool though. Hold on. I'll grab a hold of that. Hold on. Let me get rid of this. Get rid of that. This is what you were thinking of too. Yeah. Let me just sink this down a little bit like this. And then I gotta do it this way. Hold on. Sink it down just a little bit more. Maybe just a little bit more. So it's gonna be a There we go. Yeah. I needed to go up just a little bit more than that. But yeah, this would be cute too. That would be cute. I think I like that better than having the supports, like the 4 supports. That's a good idea, Juicy. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I'll definitely utilize that in a future build for sure. That's cute. I like that idea. I'll have to check out the fencing toolway too because I can't picture it for whatever reason. Because like usually like when I do the fencing tool as a table, whether it's round or whatnot, like I feel like it would cover the barrel, but I'll have to see how they did it where the barrel is showing. You need a bar in your glade too? Yeah. Surprisingly, this is coming out very, very well. I'm very happy with it. I honestly had no idea how this was going to look when I started. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a plan or a vision. I just know I want to make a tavern. I'm going to go this way. Nice. I like that. Two and a half hours of sleep. Thank you. I'll take a look at it. So that's just a nap. 2.5 hours of sleep. Cute. I like that. Guys, I say cute and nice a lot. I'm just letting you know now. Like, I just say I like that, or I say nice, or I say cute. And on the rare occasion, you will find me fighting with the game. Sometimes I have words with it. But so far, Tiny Glade beat Tiny Glade in today, and it has not given me too much. Tiny Glade has not been sassy today. It has not been, you know, sassy with me, so we're good. Actually, I want to rotate this. We'll go this way. Maybe. We'll go this way. We'll go like... I feel like they're all kind of in the same angle. Yeah, let's bring it down. Nice. I like that. It's cute. All right, now, you know how we did this chandelier here? We're gonna do another one. We are gonna put it in this space that's basically like where the balcony is not. And I wanted to do with that because it has the ceiling height to it. So we're gonna start building the roofing. And I need to get this right. So let me just bring it here. I'm gonna raise it up. I gotta make sure that it is gonna be the same height as the roof. So we're gonna want to bring it down like this. Let me bring it into daylight so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. I'm gonna bring it down just slightly. We want it this height. I don't want it this large. We're gonna make it probably this right there, I think. Okay, this is good. I like this. This is centered. I'm happy. Maybe bring it in just a little bit this way. All right, fun. Now we're gonna grab this again, center it. Bring that down. First off, is it gonna let me add lights to it, or is it gonna... Where did that go? Give me light. There we go. But before I go any further, let me make sure that these are not bright. We just want a little bit of light. Okay. And go all the way around. There's always room for one more. There we go. Nice. Okay, now I'm gonna cut this. Bring this back over. Just like that. Actually, hold on. That's better. I do need to lower... Every time I cut it, it just like lowers it. Hold on. I need to bring my windows down. I need to fix my windows. I shouldn't have to cut that anymore, hopefully. Okay. Now, what I need to do is I need to do the front entrance. So that's what we're going to be working on next. I'll bring this up. Okay. I know this is clipping. I'm okay with that because it's going to get covered up with the whatchamacallit, the trees and stuff like that. So I'm not super concerned about it clipping. No, don't do that. I wanted it to lower itself. Okay. Just need to make sure that these windows are still good. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm going to work with this archway that we currently have. Because why not? I'm going to come in through this way. We're going to add some more windows. We're going to do... Hold on. I'm going to add another window here. Bring this down. And we'll add... Bring that down like that. That's pretty even. Pretty happy with that. And I think that's going to be it for the windows in the front. I feel like there needs to be a window here. Hold on. I feel like there needs to be something. Maybe we'll add a window here. And then we'll just do a simple single pane here. It needs something on the outside. My buildings on the outside don't always look as great as the inside. I try so hard to make it look nice, but sometimes it's hard when you're making walkable buildings. I do like the fact that this is square. It's going to make the roofing super easy. Let's go ahead and just add the roof. Okay, I need to push it back just slightly. That is one really, really tall tavern. All right, I am going to create a little bit of a stairway that comes up here. Hopefully we can do a stairway. I'm thinking I might want to curve it. I'm thinking about curving it. I'm going to go ahead and remove this bit. I don't want to remove the archway though. So about right there. Good. Now, I could add some more roofing, basically, to... So we could go like this, but then add another roof. Try to add some dimension. I'll go this way. Sometimes simple is better. I can also try to add, I don't know. I feel like maybe not too much of a bump out. I feel like this might be good. I mean, it's simple, but also at the same point, I don't want to go too crazy on doing too many bump outs and stuff because the inside doesn't reflect that. And sometimes buildings are just awkward. I do want to add, I think, a part of me wants to add lighting all the way across, but I feel like that might look a little, whoops, work with me. That might look a little, Christmassy, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna create like a little porch thingy. What is it? It's a porch thingy. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go something like this, like a little entrance like we did with the fish house. I'm gonna have it be, yeah, I think I'm gonna have it be just like that. And then we're gonna create, let's add that to it. Let's rotate it just slightly. Shouldn't be clipping, hopefully. Let me delete that plant before I forget. There we go. Alright, now let's go ahead and start doing some stairs. I think I want the stairs to curve up towards it. Thinking like a curvature. Let's bring this up. Need to bring it up quite a bit, actually. Let's widen it. Okay. Let's bring it this way. Actually, thank you so much for the follow. The luxury VHS. Okay, so let's curve it that way. I want to start curving it this way now. I'm going to cut it. Maybe not that bit. I'll start curving this bit this way. It's a windy stair. I want to bring it in just slightly closer to the wall. This is so hard. Stairs are so hard for me. What are you doing? This one. There we go. Can I grab onto this? Okay. Alright. Can I get... Oh, almost had it. Almost had it. Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh. What am I doing? I'll go this way. Why are these like that? Okay. Okay. Now, go this way. Go this way. There's gonna be some steep old stairs, that's for sure. Hold on. I don't even know if this is gonna... Hold on. If I was to do it this way... Oh, wait. It does do it. Look at that. That's nice. Thank you, soul. Thank you. I try. This way. It just needs a little bit of... Okay, so what I'm thinking is we just make the trail go around that. We'll just make the trail go around that. I did want to put a building here. I think I'm gonna put the... You see, like, where... Visual. Next build. I'm gonna put the building, like, where this rock is, but it's gonna be off the cliff side, I think. Most likely not going to be walkable. Not every building in this glade is going to be walkable. We're going to have some just structural builds, like normal structure builds. But I am thinking this might be what we're working with here. Let me just bring this up a little bit. Try to... Maybe do it like that. Something like that. Alright, let me go ahead and just delete the trail bit. Okay. Let's reroute this. I'm gonna go up and around, I think. Up and around this way. And our building is gonna be basically where this grassy patch is, and it's gonna be hanging off the cliff, I think is what it's gonna be. So my Nightbot is crazy. It is crazy. We even unmodded it and it's still a mod. It's crazy. It doesn't like it when you use capitals. It doesn't like it when you use emojis or emotes. Waffle even like turned down the sensitivity on it, and I'm like, okay, Nightbot is having a moment. I'm gonna add this lighting back up in here. Nice. I'm gonna do another one right in here. Might as well. And then I'm gonna add one on either side. Just like this. But I also want to add some flags because, guys, it's a tavern. I'm gonna add a light. I'm gonna do one up here. One right here. Gonna do another one here. There. Gonna add just a simple light right here, and then we're gonna start adding. I'm gonna do a long flag. I think we're gonna do it right there. I'm gonna change the color. And I'm gonna do the moon. I think the moon looks nice. And then I kind of want to do it on the other side. It's not quite the same. There we go. Kind of want to move this. Can I grab onto it again or no? It's not gonna let me. I don't know what that just did. Hold on, let me try this again. I kind of wanna fix this. I wanna fix this. Alright, now let's go here. Maybe we'll go here. It's because the light's in the way. I know now. So actually, let me move the light then. Let's just move the light. Let's move the light out of the way. Let's try this again. We got it. Third time's a charm. I want to bring it. Close enough. Alright, this is as far as it will let me go. That's fine. That's close enough. Okay. Okay. Hold up. Hold up. It won't let me change it now. There it goes. Oh, I just passed it. I passed it again. There we go. Oh my gosh. There we go. Nice. Bring this back down. I want to add another flag here. So that way on the side you can also see it. I want to do... Hold on. I just... Nice. That's all I wanted. I just wanted that. And then maybe one on the other side. There we go. Flag it out. I wish we could put it like here as well. But we are gonna, hold on. I don't want it. Hold on, let me move this here. Let's go this way with the lighting. There we go. Nice. Actually, other way. I want this to go this way. And the light to go opposite way. Want it like that, I think. Same thing on this side. Wait, can you even like walk through that? I don't want it to snap. I don't. No. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You know what? That's okay. One's good enough. One's fine. We got it. One's fine. It's fine. It's all good. We don't need another one. We're being greedy. All right. Let me go ahead. I think that is it for the build, to be honest. Maybe a tree or two, like we can add. Add a tree here. I don't really want the dead tree, so we'll just add another tree here. Right. And we'll just keep adding trees up along this way. There we go. Nice. That looks good from afar. Okay. Now, we're going to go in walking mode daylight because I just want to make sure there's nothing... Well, that tree is clipping into that. I got to move the tree. This is why we go in walking mode. Okay, so let's move the tree. Let's move it right there. Perfect. Also, while I'm at it, let's add some flowers through here. Why not? There we go. Maybe some more right here. Nice. Nice. Alright, now. That's fine. That's cool. I like that. We're in here. Ooh, that's gonna look so nice. I haven't seen it at nighttime yet, but hopefully it's not clipping. I didn't clip it. No, we didn't. Look at that. That's gonna look so cool, guys. That tree is clipping. We need to fix that. We definitely need to, and this one too. We need to fix it. All right, let's go. This one needs to be pulled out just a little bit. I wish we could rotate the trees. That would be nice. And then, is it this one? Which one's clipping? It's not even that one. It's, this one, this green one right here. Can I get this one? It's this one, which if it's clipping there, it's gonna clip. Just do it that way. Should be fine. Let's go back on walking mode. If it's clipping at the top, it might be clipping at the bottom. It is. Look at that. We got a whole dang bush inside here. Alright, let's just get rid of those trees. Let's just get rid of the trees. Just bring them down further. Which is fine. long as they're not clipping inside the building. Where is this one? This one needs to go this way. There we go. Perfect. Now it's perfect. Okay, guys. We are coming to the tail end of our stream. We got accomplished what we set out to do, which was the tavern. I'm super excited for this. Our next build is going to be probably the inn. I think we're going to start building the inn, which is going to be right here that I'm showing you. It's going to be up top right there, right where the bridge is. We're going to build the inn there. We're going to try to. I'm going to see if I can make it walkable. We'll see. We'll see. The rest of the buildings are probably going to be just normal structures, just to fill in a little bit of the gappage. I think I might create like a blacksmith, like I did in one of my other ones. Probably somewhere down here. I'm thinking maybe like in this tiny little grassy bit that we're looking at, I might create some sort of like carriage house again for storage, because right here, as you know, we have our lovely little stowaway. And then down here, maybe some blacksmithing. And then over yonder this way, we might do a market. And then we'll just add a few cottages, and that should be that. That should be that. All right, let's go ahead and put it in nighttime mode. We're going to get ready for our cinematic ending. Okay. So for the cinematic endings, I always like to start on this side. We're going to go through the boat, and then we're going to end at the top of the lighthouse. We're always going to end at the top of the lighthouse looking over the tavern, or the port, rather. So let's go ahead and exit this. We will start down this way. Just over here. So this will be our starting point. Let me go ahead and make sure that all of this is... And let's go this. For dramatics, we can make it just slightly darker. Okay, you guys ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Yeah, there's interior. Well, now we're gonna walk the plank, guys. And there we have it. The beginnings of our port town being created, guys. We have our tavern, we have our fish house, we have our ship, we have our lighthouse. And what I didn't show is we also have these little stowaways, these little caverns that we're going to fill up with some stuff. There's another one over here that we didn't walk. I don't have light down in here, but there's another one right here. And this is what we have so far. It is coming together. I'm very, very happy with these builds. I'm very, very happy. I think this is probably my favorite glade that I've done yet. I say that with every build that I do, but honestly, I think this is one of my favorite glades. I'm going to be so sad when it's completed, but I always know that there's another better build out there. Our next build is going to be Monday. We're going to be back in Tiny Glade on Monday, 8 a.m. EST. For those of you that are new, I do go live Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to about noon EST time. I am usually on the Purple app, but I will be multi-streaming on TikTok as well whenever we're in Tiny Glade. But if you're interested in some other cozy games and or simulation games, you can find me on the Purple app. My name is Lumichelle. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and end it there for today. Thank you, everyone who came in and kept me company. Thank you to all the chatters. Thank you to the new followers. Thank you for the gifters. I really do appreciate it, as well as those that are subscribed to me. I do appreciate all your support. If you're watching this outside the live, I just want to say I see you. I appreciate you. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday and or beginning of your weekend. And I will see you guys all in the next one, okay? All right. Bye-bye.